Thank you again, Madam Chairwoman. I'd associate my comments with Mr. Bartlett's and agree this is a good program. It's doing good things. But knowing some of the people that I know back home in Indiana, they'd rather have no program at all than a program that's riddled with fraud and abuse, because they are the taxpayers that are paying these dollars. And so it's incumbent upon us to fix it. You know, I was just sitting over here thinking out of the box on, you know, we want to keep government spending down, but contracting, if you offer these areas a stipend, even if it's not your agency, another federal agency, even a local agency, to go out and make some of these spot visits and train them. You know, there's companies who would love to, you know, a $30,000 a year stipend to go out and make that part of their duties. You know, a sheriff's department or a police department or, like I said, a welfare department. They could do this, and there's nothing in replacement. Like Mr. Coots said, yeah, you can dummy these things up all day long with technology and faxing anything you want, and there's nothing like eye-to-eye contact and eyeball and asking questions and seeing who's in it and checking a payroll roster like that. It's just there's no substitute for that. And so I think there's if we think out of the box a little bit, we can do that. Mr. Scheer, we talked about self-policing, and I guess this is along that, you know, is self-policing to you or Mr. Coots an effective tool to monitor these hub zones when we're, like I said, we've just discussed it, but is it going to be effective, or do we have to go further?
Well, I'll address it from a standpoint of our program audit. And our program audit focused on SBA because it's the agency that's in charge of administering and overseeing this program. And we think that agencies that play that role, you know, have a very important responsibility. As Mr. Coots said a little bit earlier, self-policing, the extent to which it occurs among recipients of a program can be useful. But the idea is that when we're doing our program audit and we reference was made to self-policing in a program, there is a burden of proof of, is self-policing working and can it work? And when we started asking questions about self-policing, such as self-policing status protest, in the Hub Zone program, we started asking questions, how many times are there status protests? And there aren't that many. Then when we started asking questions, which is really out of fairness to the businesses that participate in this program, in that many of these contracts, even though they're small businesses, that they're in hub zones, they're local businesses many times, especially with construction, you're talking about contracts that could be, you know, in other hub zone areas and things of the like. How is it that a hub zone concern or somebody with skin in the game would know enough information? You know, if SBA doesn't know the information, how are different participants in a program going to have the information to really self-police? And that's where we started getting kind of non-answers. So we have a concern of self-policing in this program, the degree to which it's been used, to the degree to which it's worked. Now, given our focus on SBA's actions for internal control, I will say that what we observe in terms of the high level of firms that apply being certified, and then the large number of firms that when anything is looked at very closely and where verification is asked for by SBA, for those small number of firms, the high numbers that end up being decertified, is that, to us, that is an indication that whatever policing is going on by SBA and by the self-policing is not working.
Thank you very much, and got about a minute left. Any suggestions as you sit there and think about the same things that I was thinking about, short of hiring 30,000? Was it how many hub zones across the country? 30,000? Is that what we said?
14,000.
14,000. Short of hiring 14,000 new government employees, any suggestions that you can say that you've all been talking around the office and say, if they just do this, they'd get that eyeball to eyeball checking system, you know, let them split. Is there another agency? Have you all thought of anything, or Ms. Carranza, either one?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Were you going to answer?
No,
okay. Okay, thank you, Congressman Ellsworth. We've not only looked at the density of the need to do on-site, the density of firms, but we also recognize that we have other agencies and other resource partners that can be deployed as well to perform some of those physical on-site versus site reviews. In addition to that, we want to be a deterrent up front. So when we look at the application, we're going to ask for a lot more information up front and validate that information, and then take it personally that after that application is completed and the information on that information validated, we zoom in with all of the search engines to, again, verify it, so that no business can be disruptive, the job creation can be realized, and of course, economic development
Would the
is
gentleman
experienced.
yield?
Sure.
Ms. Carranza,
Yes.
it caught my attention that you said that you have other partners and that you will use personnel from other agencies to go and do on-site visits. How is that possible? That's the sole responsibility of SBA.
Congressman,
Are they trained? Who will train them?
Congressman Velasquez, when I say other resources and agencies, we have government contracting community members, whether it's other agencies that are out on the field. We also have our resource partners from our Entrepreneurial Development Office. We're just looking for other avenues that could participate in this scrutiny. We have not locked it in yet. This is still going under assessment, but we have opportunities to offer the training that's required. Again, we're going to first manage it from our office before we branch out and commit those resources. But I believe that there's other options that we can consider. It may be premature to say that at this time because I haven't fully assessed it.
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope that it's premature to say, this is too serious. This is fraud. This is about taxpayers' money. This is about hurting legitimate companies that are doing their job in our communities. So to contract out or to give the responsibility, due diligence that is your sole responsibility to other partners out there who do not have, first, do not understand the program, two, do not have the training, that really concerns me. So I hope that you will revisit that.
I will take that into consideration. Thank you.
I yield back.
Thank you. Mr. Cuellar.
Thank you.